Well, hello and welcome back to Galactic Wisdom. Now, we have a bit of a special show here today. Some of my shows are going to be experiential. I would like to teach people how to meditate, remote view, astrally project, spiritually heal, perform manifestation. And this is going to be a special show to do with meditation. This is going to be an introduction to meditation, and I'm going to lead a guided meditation. And if you like to meditate, then you can replay this episode or the part of the episode with the guided meditation to meditate whenever you want to. This is going to be a very basic, simple meditation, which you can use for a big variety of other paranormal or spiritual experiences. And to help me today with this episode, I'm very happy to introduce Ashley into our show. Hello, Ashley.
Hello, Rupert. Thank you so much for having me on your show tonight.
You're very welcome. How are you doing today?
Oh my gosh, fantastic. It's been a great day. It's been a busy day, but I've been looking forward to this.
Well, fantastic. Now, I didn't tell you this, but this is a pre-recorded show. I'm pre-recording this now with Ashley, and it could well be that this show airs on Thanksgiving Day. So if that is the case, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yeah, if not, then forget I said that. Let me introduce Ashley properly. Ashley is a lifelong paranormal experiencer and an active participant in extranormal research and investigating. In recent years, she has taken her investigation skills along with her intuitive abilities and has been using them to initiate peaceful relationships with non-human beings. Normally, she's found behind the scenes, providing a safe space for others to debrief, helping them to work through and understand their own experiences. Under the name of Alienated, she also attends a variety of vendor events and conventions in the Midwest, selling all things alien and beyond: jewelry, gifts, books, apparel, and a lot more. So wonderful. What we're going to do is we're going to introduce meditation, go through a lot of the basics of what it is, why we do it, how we do it. Then we're going to lead a guided meditation. And then if there is time after this, I'm going to ask Ashley about some of her fascinating experiences with non-human beings and paranormal investigations. So first of all, I want to talk about what should we do before we meditate? How can we prepare to meditate? And the suggestions that I've got are, well, first of all, silence your phones. Make sure that your devices are not going to go off and distract you. Minimize other distractions. So if you have whatever the distractions might be around you, go and tell your kids, please be quiet because I'm meditating. Or dogs, whatever you need to do, give them a bone to keep them happy while you meditate. Some people like to block off outside sounds and senses by putting in earplugs, wearing eye masks. Ashley, do you think I've missed out anything there?
Maybe not missed out. I'll add a few things, but Rupert, you don't give your dog a bone. They are so noisy to chew on. You can't do that.
I apologize for that bad piece of meditation advice. What do you give to your dogs?
Well, I just make sure mine's in a kennel with a nice soft toy that he can't destroy, and he's way on the other end of the house.
Okay.
So I can't hear him. I can't hear him.
Listen to Ashley. She's got a dog. I don't have one. So, and do you have any other animals?
I do. I have cats. They get locked out of whatever room I'm in. And then I have a bunch of outdoor animals, so I don't have to worry about them.
Okay. Keep the outdoors animals outside when you meditate.
But I would, I would recommend, though, preparing your space for meditation. And that may look like just getting in a comfy chair, but I would go further than that. I would make sure that your space is decluttered. Cluttered creates a sense of anxiety, whether we're aware of that or not. It makes it a lot harder to just fully relax. So declutter. Your suggestions about the earplugs, the eye mask, definitely on par. Yeah, and keeping out those outside annoyances.
Yeah, declutter. That's something I need to do. I don't know how many different mugs I have lying around at the moment. I should declutter this space. Sounds a bit like feng shui.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Well, thank you for that. Now, if we move on to during the meditation, now, one thing I advise people is, because it's easy to get distracted when you're meditating. If your kid or your dog or your elephant, whatever it is, does make a noise, I've got a woodpecker. I've got a woodpecker that lives in the top of my house here, and I'll be doing a meditation or leading a show, and then tick, 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 really, really loud. If something like that happens, I advise people, distractions will happen. Just acknowledge those distractions, acknowledge the sounds, but then just let them drift away. Don't get all angry and upset like, oh no, I can't meditate now. I'm going to have to stop and start again. Just hear them and let them drift away. You can even imagine that in your mind you have a window that is open, and you just let those sounds drift out of the window.
Rupert, can I add to that?
Please do, yeah.
I don't know if you may get to this, but talking about just letting those outside interruptions just flow through and go out the window. You can also do that with those thoughts, those thoughts that are interrupting. So kind of that mental chatter, jargon, whatever you want to call it. And also same with those, acknowledge and let it pass. And if you're visualizing that actually leaving, whether that's out a window or into a closet, into a body of water, so it washes away, that can also help keep your mind calmer. You just acknowledge and move on.
Yeah, that's a good point. We all have things on our minds in our lives, stuff going on, and it's hard sometimes to tune those out. So yeah, absolutely. Good. And then I want to talk briefly about, well, what is meditation? Now, I would say that in its simplest form, because there's thousands of different ways of meditating and styles of meditation, but in its most simple form, I would say it's relaxing the body, calming the mind. I also, in my meditations, I always tune into our spiritual bodies. Though that's what meditation is to me on its sort of basic foundational level. What is meditation to you, Ashley? Anything else?
Meditation to me is tuning into inside. So whatever that inside is, if you want to call it your spirit, if you want to call it something else, that's exactly it. Tuning into inside. It's forgetting everything external, and going in.
Okay. But then when you're in the meditation, after you've connected with yourself, then you can turn your attention outside and
Exactly.
fly around the universe and experience anything that's out there.
Yes. I liken it to looking beyond the beyond. So once you've turned inside, you're still looking out in a way, but it's looking beyond the beyond. And until you get into that meditative state, I think that might be a way to describe it that's hard to digest. But when you're in it, and if you focus your mind's eye, your third eye, whatever you want to call it, to look beyond what is right in front of you, it'll click. You'll be like, that's it. I've got it. Now I know what Ashley was talking about. Beyond the beyond.
Fantastic. Now I'm going to come to why meditate. Now, meditation, obviously, it is relaxing. So if people have stresses in their everyday lives, tensions, whether it's biologically or mentally or emotionally, it facilitates relaxation, relieving of stress relief. I also teach people how to use their own spirits and to heal themselves, to take hold of their own spirits and to heal themselves. And in the future, I'm going to be hosting a session just like this, but where I will be teaching people how to heal themselves spiritually. We can actually project, take our minds, take our consciousnesses to other places in space and also in time. And when we're there, we can remote view. Remote viewing is when you're seeing things in other places or in other times, not just seeing, but hearing, feeling textures. If you're interested, go to the CIA website and search for their training manual on remote viewing, because that was something that they pioneered several decades ago. We can also do manifestation from a foundation of meditation. Manifestation is when you guide the path that you're taking along the timeline towards a possibility that you prefer. And we can actually do that. We can control to some extent what's going to happen to us in the future. That's manifestation. We can share love in a real way with others, with other people, with animals, with spirits that are in the spirit realm, with non-human beings that are out there. And we can communicate with other entities on a basis of meditation. Did I miss anything out?
No, going off of that, I mean, meditation just unlocks those pieces of our mind that we don't use all the time. Or maybe they're there to use, but because we haven't quieted all that chatter, we don't realize they're there. So it's limitless. There's so much you can do with meditation.
Right. So yes, we can open up and we can open up our own spiritual or psychic abilities through meditation. That's a good point.
Yeah, I feel like people, and people that I talk to who have started meditation, and maybe before they felt like they didn't have, even though I believe everybody does, but didn't have a psychic ability or any type of intuition. And they've expressed that, even after a week of doing this, like, you know what, I think I'm starting to notice things a little differently, or pick up on things, or maybe feel like something's going to happen before it does, even just doing it a week or two.
That's fantastic. May I ask, how did you first get into meditation?
Yes, I have been doing different types of meditations for over 30 years. It was my family. My mom and the group of friends that she ran around with, that we all of her kids' friends, and we did what the moms did. So yeah, I've been doing it for a very long time.
So you've been doing it since you were a child?
Very small, yes.
That is fantastic. That must be why you're so good at it. And how often do you meditate, and how often do you recommend that others meditate?
Yeah, I meditate at least 3 times a week. I like to do that more, but having a full life and a little one and after school activities, it makes it a little hard. But I tell everyone, if you can at least find that time once a week, I recommend it. And I don't think that's too much to ask. Even if it's you go to bed 15 minutes early one night. But yes, get started with one night a week. And I think what you'll find is that you enjoy it so much that you'll start doing it more.
Awesome. And how long do you meditate for when you meditate?
Typically, I set aside at least 30 minutes. That's kind of my go-to, is at least 30 minutes. But I want everyone to know it's okay if you even start with 5 minutes. I have guided people who are like, I can't sit still for 5 minutes. How can you do it for 30? I'm like, well, some people do it for hours. So, so even if you can start with 5 minutes, I mean, just those little baby steps, you will see results, and your body will thank you. Your body and your mind will thank you.
Wonderful. Fantastic. So the next thing I want to talk about, I want to prep everybody really well before we do the meditation, the process that we use. Now, there are many different methods, many different practices, and I want to let people know there's not a magic formula here. Getting into a a really relaxed state where you can go into yourself, sort of tune into your spirit. I think that that's important. Some people like to chant to do that. Some people like to bang on drums or listen to music. It doesn't matter. Oh, did you raise your hand then?
Oh, I have a drum back here. So I just laughed when you said drum. I have a drum.
There you go. Some people like to bang on drums. Whatever you like to do that helps you to get into that. Do you use singing bowls as well?
Sometimes. Yes, I have. Yes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, some people like to do that. They're fun. I had a play with some of those quite recently. They're fun. Yeah. But basically, do whatever works for you to get into that meditative state. I've got a fly buzzing around here that's distracting me. That's one of the things I'm going to have to acknowledge and then let go during the meditation. Just as long as it's not crawling on my face, I'll probably be okay. And so the process, the steps that I recommend that people go through: step 1, relaxing your body. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to go around our biological bodies, relaxing our biological bodies. Step 2 is going to be that we tune into our spirits. And again, we go around our entire body tuning into our spirit. We take our time with this because what we're trying to do is build up a complete picture in our minds, perhaps our third eyes, of our entire spirits. For some people, this is going to be just imagining, but to others, they're going to actually be able to perceive that psychically. So those are the first 2 steps. I then like to do 2 more steps on top of that. I like to focus in on our hearts. Now, this is not something you have to do in a meditation, but to me, focusing on our hearts, on that area of our chests where we feel love, where we feel positive emotion, for me, that's important. Everything that I do, not just from meditations, but in life, is done on a foundation of love. And so in a meditation, if you build that love and feel it growing and strengthening in your heart, then if you do connect with other beings out there, you've got that love in you, you can just radiate it outwards. But I find that it just strengthens our spirit and whatever it is we do. And the fourth step that I like to do, I'm not very good at counting, the fourth step that I like to do is then take ourselves to our brains. It is within our brains that our consciousness exists, both our biological and our spiritual brains. And I like to try and kind of wake up our brains, turn on those parts of our brains responsible for our psychic perceptions. So those are the 4 processes that I am going to lead people through today. Do you, Ashley, do anything different or in addition to that?
No, but I wanted to add, when you were talking about when we're going through and connecting, with our spirit body and talking about visualizing it, some people will feel that rather than see it. And so that tingling, that warmth, that buzzing, if you are receiving that or getting that sensation, hang on to that. Just hang on to that. Some people will feel that rather than be able to see it.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much. Can I ask you, Ashley, do you feel like meditation is easy, and does it get easier over time?
It gets easier over time. I would say it's not easy. It's not easy to start. We live in a world where we are constantly bombarded with sights, sounds, smells, technology, that it's really hard to be okay without that, even for a few minutes. So it's hard.
Yeah. I have a lot of people telling me, I find it so hard to get into meditation, to not be distracted. I don't know if it's helpful, but I can tell people that I feel like my clothing where it touches me, like the label. I feel if my cushion, my pillow, I'm like the Princess and the Pea. Do you know that story? If there's if there's the remotest, if there's a grain of sand underneath my cushion underneath me, I'll be uncomfortable. And when I started really properly trying to meditate, I was being distracted by all these things. I'd have an itch on my head. I'd need to go like that. There's the fly flying in front of my face now. I would be so distracted. I would find it really, really hard. But now, after doing it for many years, I still get occasional things like this. I have to adjust myself and my pillow and take out that pee from underneath the pillow. But I settle into it much quicker. And I just accept those things and I let them go. I acknowledge them. I let them go.
Well, and it's just like anything, Rupert, like practice. You have to practice at it. You don't just pick up a basketball. You're not able to just dribble right away. I mean, you have to practice.
Yeah, that's a good point. Right. Okay. So everybody, we're at 21 minutes into this show. And if you enjoy this meditation, then remember in future, you can replay the recording of this and jump in at 21 minutes and you can use this meditation, replay this meditation anytime you want to. I'm going to advise the audience that if anybody is driving a car or flying a plane or doing something that it's not wise to meditate while doing, then you can still listen to us. It's not like hypnotic. You're probably not going to fall asleep. Still listen to us if you want to. It might be a little bit boring, but I wouldn't close your eyes. I mean, definitely not when you're driving. But yeah, now we're at 22 minutes. So I am going to suggest that everybody does make sure your devices are silenced. You can be sitting down, you can be lying, it's up to you. You can have lights on or off. And when you're feeling, when you're in a comfortable position, I'd like everybody please to close your eyes and we start to relax our bodies and we calm our minds. And we're going to start off by moving around our bodies, just relaxing our biological bodies one part at a time. Consciously, everybody please let go of the tensions in your feet. Focus in on your lower leg muscles, your calves. Relax them. Release the tensions. Move to your upper legs. Let go of the tensions there. All muscles below our waists. Just disengage them. Relax and release. We consciously let go of the tensions in our tummy muscles, our sides, all of the muscles in our backs and in our chests. Let go of the tensions in our necks and in our heads. In our everyday lives, we build up a lot of tensions and stresses in our faces. So let us consciously move around our faces, disengaging all muscles. We start in our foreheads. We relax our cheek muscles, our jaws. And we have a lot of muscles that surround our eyes. Let go of all tensions in those muscles around our eyes. And a lot of people find it a little bit hard to let go of every single tension in your body. So we're going to do a little self-evaluation. Just take your mind around your body, searching for any areas that are still tight, still engaged, not completely relaxed. Focus in on those areas and release and relax. And now try and imagine, try and feel that your entire biological body is deeply relaxed, just like how it would be if you were deeply asleep, but we remain conscious. Our body is relaxed. But we are not just biological bodies. We are not just biological beings. We are also spiritual beings with spiritual bodies. Let us start to turn our attention inwards to our spirits. The core of our spiritual bodies is the same shape as our biological bodies. We have spiritual hands and feet. We have spiritual organs, spiritual skin, even spiritual hair. Every single component of our biological body has a corresponding spiritual component. So when we visualize our spirit, we can see it as being human-shaped in its core, but made of beautiful, luminous, flowing currents of spiritual essence, carrying spiritual energy with it. Like a dancing, flowing, fiery plasma, warm and soothing, energetic, healing. We take our attention to our spiritual hands and fingers. Feel, maybe see in your mind or your third eye, the spiritual currents flowing through our fingers and our hands. Feel the buzz, the tingle, the life, and try and see that within you. Try and see how your spirit hands connect up through your wrists and into your lower arms. Tune into your spiritual skin, muscle, bone, arteries and veins. In the same way that we have circulations in our biological bodies of blood, we have spiritual currents that flow through our spiritual bodies. And we can manipulate with the power of our mind those currents. So if there are any blockages or restrictions in our spiritual energies or flows, we can take hold of those blockages and push through them. We can smooth out our spiritual flows. Let us cleanly flow our spirits from our fingertips, through our fingers, through our hands, through our wrists and our lower arms, up through our elbows and into our upper arms. Flow your spirit throughout your entire arms, soothing, healing, relaxing, and cleansing. We flow our spirit through our shoulders, relaxing the muscles further there. And we pour our spirit down our backs, through all of the back muscles, relaxing them and cleansing them. We can even take our spiritual fingers or thumbs and imagine that they are behind our spiritual backs, and we start massaging our own backs in slow circular motions of our thumbs and fingers, starting at the top of our backs, either side of our spines, and slowly massaging our muscles with our spirits down towards the middle of our backs. And this acts very similarly to a biological massage. It increases the circulation of currents, energy currents. It frees us from waste toxins and chemicals, lets them flow out of us. It relaxes us, it undoes knots and tensions. We work our way down from the middle of our backs, down all the way to the base of our backs. And then we let our spirits from our spinal columns flow, from our muscles in our backs flow inwards to our spinal columns. Our spinal columns fill with spiritual light. And let us move our spirits through each vertebrae, through each disc, cleanly connecting. We move into the spinal cord in the middle of our spines. We let it glow with spiritual energy. And we see and we feel our entire nervous system light up throughout our entire bodies. It lights up. It connects all of the nerves around our bodies. It strengthens existing neural pathways. It strengthens our abilities and talents. It strengthens our body's connection to our brains. Let us now flow our spirits from our spines around the organs of our bodies. We start with our lungs. We connect with our lungs, cleansing and healing. We flow down on the left side into our stomachs. And as we do this, we visualize our spiritual body growing, becoming more complete, more clear in our minds. We move to the right, to our livers, and we connect. We flow into our hearts and we see the organ of our hearts, both biological and spiritual. We connect with it. We fill it with light. We flow down through our organs to our intestines, soothe and connect. We fill up our kidneys with our spiritual light. And we move now to the outsides of our torsos. We flow our spirits around our skin and soft tissues, all around our backs, our sides, our fronts. Fill your torsos with spiritual energy. Feel your spirit. Feel the spirit of your entire upper body, including your hands and arms. We move our spirit cleanly, harmoniously down through our pelvic area, smoothing out energy currents, connecting with all organs, relaxing all muscles, connecting with bone and cartilage. We tune in downwards into our upper legs. We flow our spirit through our arteries and veins within our legs, cleansing, healing. We tune into muscle, relaxing muscle, skin, and we see our spiritual body growing as we extend down through our knees and into our lower legs, softly connecting with our calf muscles, relaxing them, down through our ankles and into our feet. Feel your spirit flowing through your toes and the soles of your feet. And we connect to our outside world through our fingertips, through our toes, through our soles, the soles of our feet and the palms of our hands. Try and feel, try and see our spirits flowing cleanly through our toes to connect with the ground, flowing cleanly through our fingertips to connect with other people and our environment around us. We take our spirit up again through our spinal column and into our necks. Fill your necks with spiritual light. We flow up into our heads, and we wash our spiritual body through our heads, through our brains, through our faces, like silky, soft, spiritual currents. We wash through our brains, soothing them, washing away waste chemicals, washing away any remaining tensions, any darknesses, biological, spiritual, emotional, psychological. We wash them away. We wash away dark thoughts. We become pure and bright. Let us imagine flowing our spirits into those parts of our brains that are responsible for our psychic perceptions. We brighten those areas even if we don't know where they are. We set the intention for our brains to wake up, to be turned on to their fullest potential. We see our brains brightening. We consciously turn on our psychic perceptions. And as we do this, we see in the center of our vision, through our third eyes, a bright area opening up like a third eye, opening its eyelid and starting to see outwards into extra-dimensional spaces. And as we do this, we see our own spiritual bodies coming more clearly into focus. See your entire spiritual body from the tips of your toes, up your legs, through your torsos, down your arms to the tips of your fingers, up our necks and into our heads and up to the top of our heads. See your entire spirit, a beautiful human spirit floating in extra-dimensional spaces. But our spirit is more than just its biologically focused core. Our human-shaped spiritual core extends outwards into a large, glowing, beautiful aura around our spirits. Many people can see auras when they look at others. We have auras around us. They are extensions of our spirit. They are part of our spirit. Our spirit extends outwards in all directions in a beautiful cloud that reaches out and connects with others, connects with other people, animals, spirits, connects with the universe. See your entire beautiful spiritual being. And we open up our perceptions to looking outwards, beyond our spirits. We fill our hearts with love, a love that grows brighter and stronger within us, a love that we would like to share with others. And we build that love within our chests, within our hearts, and our hearts light up and shine that love light outwards in all directions to any beings that are here, whatever conscious entities are around us. We love you. We wish you well. And we hang here in extra-dimensional space, existing in our spiritual form, and let our perceptions flow, shift, change. Allow your spirit to reach out like a spiritual sonar or radar to perceive any messages that the universe has to give to us, any images, any ideas, any messages from spirits or other beings. We let those messages flow into our minds. And I'm going to stop talking for 10 or 20 seconds just to give yourself a chance to pick up on anything that is there. And now we decide it's time to move towards the end of this meditation. We allow our spirit to be reabsorbed back into our biological bodies. We center our spiritual hearts where our biological hearts are. We draw back in our spiritual hands and fingers into our biological hands and fingers. We draw back in our spiritual feet into our biological feet. It's healthy to make sure that our spirits are not drifting around out there in the universe. So we imagine our biological bodies like large spiritual sponges, and we just absorb back in our spirit into our bodies. We feel whole and complete and in harmony with our spiritual and biological bodies. We hear the sounds of our environment around us. We feel the temperature of the air on our skin and the touch of our clothes on our skin. And we feel like we are now ready to come out of this meditation. So we can now open our biological eyes and return to the Galactic Wisdom show. Good. You're still awake. I have a bad habit of putting people to sleep during my meditations.
I'm awake, yes. I could go to sleep, but I'm awake.
Now, I'm curious, Ashley, because Ashley is very psychically perceptive, and sometimes when we do meditations like that, she will pick up on beings or messages. Did anything come to you while we were doing that today, Ashley?
Nothing that I would call extraordinary. When we had our moment of silence, I heard just be, which definitely goes along with the theme of the meditation. But I would say nothing extraordinary tonight.
Okay. But in the past, you have had some pretty amazing experiences during meditations. You were at one of my CE5 retreats recently, and when we were meditating to connect with our Arcturian friends, what was interesting is I looked to my left and I perceived our Arcturian friend Rupert. I looked to my center and I perceived Sashki. And then I looked to my right and our usual friend, Helmiad, I didn't pick up on him, but instead I was seeing a shorter being and I couldn't pick up on a name, but it was confused. It was interesting to me, let's say, because I've hosted, I don't know, 40, 50 Arcturian meditations in the past, and it's always been those three. And then can you say what your perceptions were?
Yeah. So Sashki was there, Ramoid was there, and Helmiad was not there. But there was a third being, a smaller, short being who was kind of just on the fringe. It was almost like, and I don't mean this with a negative annotation, but almost like a little servant being, like somebody going around just like had a job to do, whatever that job was. But yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And that there is right there is proof that what we're doing is something special, something paranormal, because when two people perceive the same unusual situation, that's confirmation.
Yeah. Yes. And I
You,
mean, I'm a big
yeah,
fan of keeping, and I keep mine with me all times when any type of meditation, but journaling, writing down perceptions, sights, sounds, what you hear, maybe what you smell during your meditation, write that down. And then, like for example, for that instance, then guess what? We're comparing notes, and you don't have maybe people on the outside going, oh, they talked about that. That person said that because, oh, that sounded like something great to agree with. But aside from that, when you write down your experiences, or maybe write down, let's say, in that instance, some non-human beings that you're connecting with, you can look for patterns over time too, and start maybe putting together some of those pieces of the puzzle. So that's one of the reasons I highly, highly, highly recommend. I would even use a stronger word than recommend to journal and write down what you, even if it's nothing, even if it's, oh, I saw a pink light, do that. Write it down.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask you, I don't know if you remember, it was a few years ago now. Do you remember the first time we reached out and connected with the healing being?
I do remember that. Yes, it was phenomenal.
Can you let people know what we experienced during that meeting?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I want to also say too, like these experiences don't have to happen in person. I think some of the most successful experiences I've had have actually been virtual or via Zoom. And this particular session was via Zoom, and we reached out to the universe and connected with a healing being entity, and several people during that meditation heard the same name when we asked for a name, or what do you call yourself. Do you want me to say what that was, or do you want to, Rupert?
Go ahead and say, what is the name of this healing being?
Yeah. It's tuk tuk. And the best way to say that is like TK. I think we went back a little, there we go. Yeah. Back and forth a little bit in our group. If it was going to be like, is there a vowel in between? But there's not. Yeah. Tuk tuk. And that's tuk tuk.
Tuk tuk. And a few people saw tuk tuk. A few people saw that there were babies or
Mm-hmm.
children
Mm-hmm.
associated with tuk tuk. And a few people felt like they received healing.
Yeah.
And we decided to go back to tuk tuk time and time again and connect with her. And we discovered that the image that she initially showed to us was not her true form. She gave us that form because her true image, she gave us that image because her true form is so unusual that we would not even have realized that we were connecting with a life form if we had have seen the image. And here is an image that Laura Zoller has drawn. She was in those early meetings too, and you see that there's a teardrop shaped behind this sort of classic humanoid alien there. That teardrop shape, that is how tuk tuk looks to us. And here is a picture that I drew of tuk tuk, and we don't see the humanoid form anymore, but I just put that in there just sort of artistically to show this is what it looks like when we reach out and we connect with this healing being, and people are being healed during those sessions.
Yeah, and what we found with Tuk Tuk's, I guess, quote unquote, real form was that when we reached out to, okay, well, what do you really look like? It all started with, like you said, with that teardrop shape. And then more and more, we were able to, she revealed to us more and more what that actually was. But yeah.
Yeah. And we saw the babies coming in like little minions, diving in and giving us little hugs and things. And this is the kind of experience you can have from a foundation of the kind of meditation that we just did. So, Ashley, we are moving towards the end of this session. I would like to thank you so very much for being here. It's been a pleasure to meditate with you and to get all of your ideas flowing in about meditation. I would love to do a different type of meditation sometime, maybe an astral projection or a remote viewing or a healing. Might you be interested in coming back and joining me again sometime?
Yes. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me on the show today. And absolutely, I would love to come back.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm going to say goodbye and happy Thanksgiving or not again to everybody. Thank you very much for being here. And because this is a recorded session, I need to play a video now. I need to find the video. Oh, I found it. Okay. Goodbye for now then. Take care. See you next time. That's the wrong piece of music. I'm going to have to play a different piece. Goodbye, everybody. I will see you next time.